Sunday, May 23rd, 2010, walking north at Vanderbilt and Bergen Street, west side of Vanderbilt. A block, less than a block from block 1129, started to be construction staging, interim surface parking light. Chicago's Luncheonette Mixed Restaurant, and at the corner, Dean Street. Fencing, blocking off views of the surface parking staging, north side of Dean Street. Gonna walk west. This is the southeast corner of the block 1129. To the left side, south side of Dean Street, housing, a little bit of industrial space, some housing that was converted from industrial space. Right fences. This used to be where the Ward Bakery, notably on this block, was torn down. Still several buildings here, and that yellow building in the distance, sort of a renovated building, long owned by Henry Weinstein. Most likely not going to be torn down. It would be expensive and time-consuming. It would be used as offices, and just use some parking around it. Though Farsi Owner did say in an affidavit that everything had to be torn down, and that's why they were in a hurry. The building in the distance with the water tower and the scaffolding, that's the News Walk, which is on a block that is not part of the project footprint. It's cut out. An old New York Daily News printing facility turned into housing. Let's just take a quick peek in. The building straight up ahead is a former homeless shelter that was emptied out on Martin Luther King Day of this year. Guard station up there. There's a guard car. We're walking on the stretch of sidewalk that is going to be the path for thousands of people coming from the interim surface parking. The question is whether the street and sidewalk will handle it. According to the final environmental impact statement, it's not a problem. That obviously is something that we will learn when we see it. A couple of security guards. We are walking west along Dean Street, and again, green. We'll take a quick look right here. There looks to be a slight space. That's the Weinstein building. The security guards, not very interested in me today. Last time they were. Coming up at the corner of Carlton Avenue, let's keep in mind the sidewalk is approximately 3 widths, or 3 concrete squares. 3 widths at this point, and it gets smaller once we walk along Dean Street going west. This is the space where there was a building that was torn down, and then there's the Weinstein building. As I said, it'll probably be kept. There's some construction trailers. A lot of parking here for construction workers. And this is Carlton Avenue at Dean Street, and part of the Prospect Heights Historic District, both to the north and to the south. Not exactly blighted. So again, we're 3 widths in terms of the sidewalk. Because there's more traffic, going to be more cars being parked, they said all you got to do is widen the crosswalk and it'll work. Of course, that's a projection. We'll see. Walking west along Dean Street, and new construction here to the right. And then once we get to this row houses up ahead, you see the sidewalk narrows. This is areas, in fact, where the Dean Street Block Association has put in planters and tree guards. That's the Newswalk building under renovation of some sort. This is going to be interesting. This is the main path for people coming who've been driving to the interim surface parking. It's got 1,100 cars. A lot of other people are going to be taking public transportation, and there will be satellite parking. Metrotech, maybe Bay Ridge, places like that. On the left, a parking lot for HPD. On the right, again, Newswalk. And on the left, the Dean Street playground. Recently renovated. There's a basketball court and there's sort of a baseball field. Again, looking at Newswalk. And we're walking west. Boys Town up here. And once called the Swedish Baptist Church. Actually, this church coming up here is now called the Temple of Restoration. And going west past the church, a row of four-story small apartment buildings, one of which was renovated into expensive condos. 499 Dean, we'll see the side. And on the left, Engine Company 219, firehouse. Interested to see how they can get from place to place, given some of the constraints. We are walking west, and once we see this little small two-story house jutting out, we are at the official project footprint, even though these next three buildings are supposedly going to be taken by eminent domain in another phase. My theory is these buildings are never going to be taken because they don't need the space. They needed 5 widths of buildings. They took down 2 where that little parking lot is, and they said they needed 1, 2, 3 because it was lighted. More likely they needed it for some very intense construction involving an arena and 4 towers around it. Right now there's not going to be that. So we're at the arena block across the street. That's Freddy's, and that's a security guard outside Freddy's and a closed sidewalk. The bodega over there, row houses along 6th Avenue, and then a couple of houses along the south side of Dean Street. Those are the folks who are going to be living across the street from an arena. All this straight ahead is going to go. That's the Spalding building, beautiful former manufacturing space turned into condos, and behind it, a little bit you can see the shrouded 475 Dean. The plan was to create fencing so there could be mechanical demolition of the houses and other buildings along Dean Street. Again, not the arena block. The south, to the northwest, the arena block. Looking here, a little space for parking and construction staging, and then 3 houses that may or may not go. That's the extent of the footprint. We're going to walk south along 6th Avenue toward Flatbush Avenue. See, it's gone 2 ways, so police are parking partly on the street, partly on the sidewalk. And here is a new restaurant called Casa Anu, French West Indian, French Caribbean. And what's interesting and nice about Casa Anu is, well, it's half block from the Blight, and Blight is supposed to retard growth.